The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. Access Fort Wayne is a department of the Allen County Public Library. If you or anyone you know might be interested in making a television show, please call 260-421-1250.
Welcome to the Kachmann Mind, Body, Spirit Show. Today's subject is going to be about something we all experience in life, at least if you're alive. It's about stress, and I'm going to explain it to you, what it's all about, and how to relieve it. So that's very important. I have a wonderful guest with me, Jeremy Varamala from Purdue University. He's a nutritionist, a scientist, originally from India. He's going to tell us a little bit about how stress is handled in India a little later. So let's have some fun. At Purdue University, you do some teaching there also?
So I worked for different universities, but I live in Purdue area. Right now, I'm primarily focusing on the stress and anxiety as an independent yoga instructor. But with the 20 years of biomedical research experience and yoga and meditation to relieve stress is my focus. So I'm living in Purdue area. I also teach online sometimes, but I'm primarily focusing on helping people overcome stress and anxiety.
Isn't that a wonderful thing to have an expert here who teaches yoga to people, which I consider to be one of the best ways to get rid of your stress. I do some yoga every day. So let's first discuss a little bit about stress. We have acute stress, where you get hit in your car, or your loved one dies, for example. That's acute stress.
Yes.
Acute stress is over quickly, so that generally it doesn't cause any diseases in people or anything. But you know, I worked as a neurosurgeon for 40-odd years, and I noticed about 20 years into it that a lot of the people that I was seeing because of a physical presentation of stress. Stress was their problem. That problem was not necessarily their x-ray, and they had chronic stress. And let's talk about the difference a little bit. Acute, like I said, it's over quickly. You live or you die. And chronic stress was really, 150 years ago, we thought stress was something related to a machine. We didn't really realize that the human body could be stressed. And I had read a book called Molecules of Emotion by Sanders Peart, and she described the hormones and the autonomic nervous systems and the neuropeptides, that how you thought could affect your whole body, every cell in your body, yes. To the point that I wrote a book, The Mind Body, one of my original books. You can get in the library, Amazon. I'm not here selling books today, but I will say I reread it, and it has detailed explanation how that our brain cells make neurotransmitters, trillions of them, and they can hit every cell in our body. So how you think has a tremendous effect on how you feel. How about that? So this thing is connected to the human body. For centuries, they ascribed our thought process to belief in all sorts of things. So René Descartes, 17th century, in Paris, found our science was advancing, and that indeed it wasn't just our thought process, that our body was expressing itself a bit too. And spirituality in the church had grabbed the human body, and they frankly thought you could cut the head off the body, and the body could exist by itself, not realizing that this thing affects us. And Hans Selye, this is interesting, Hans Selye, S-E-L-Y-E, in Canada, Montreal, multiple universities. I don't know if you can see his picture. He's holding up a book there. And the name of the book is Stress Without Distress by Hans Selye. I actually read the book. I couldn't find it today to bring it with me today. Got 2,000 books in my basement. Maybe I need to buy another copy. But it's a wonderful book. What he really described is the chronic stress, the stress that your neurotransmitters, that your hormones and neurotransmitters in your bowel are all interconnected. Then Candace Pert writes this book, Molecules of Emotion, and really we have an emotional body. You have to realize that. Even still today, 70% of the people go see a doctor, it is a physical presentation of stress. But the providers who have not been taught this in medical school, I know, I've been there, they relate your feelings about what's on your MRI, what's on your CT scan. So if I went to see a doctor and say, I got neck pain, and like one of the last patients I saw in my practice, and I still picture her to this day, came to see me with a sad face, long black hair, black dress on. She looked sad, and she was going to get a neck operation within a week by another doctor. She was seeing me for a second opinion. And instead of just looking at her x-ray, I said to her, what's going on in your life? And she said, well, my husband left me 6 months ago. I lost my job 2 weeks ago. I have 3 children. I'm 39 years old. And they did this MRI in my neck that has a 3-page report, which actually I looked at, showed only her age. I have no neck pain at my tender age, 39 for the 40th time. I suspect it has a lot of changes, maybe a 5-page report, but I have no neck pain. Okay, so I spoke to her almost an hour, and I decided in the end I would not have had this operation. I thought it was her neurotransmitters, her hormones in her body were affecting her nerves, her brain, and her muscles by hitting receptors on her cells. Candace Pert described in her book, Molecules of Emotion, a book she published. I read that. I think that kind of opened me up. I read it, 35 years ago, 40 years ago or so. She was at NIH, the only woman working there. She discovered that every cell in the body has receptors on it. When you smoke a cigarette, the nicotine hits those receptors, send a message to your cell. And then the cell metabolizes everything, and within a few minutes, you get a light up again because the feel-good hormones are gone, and now you're not feeling too good. So, and she discovered the opiate receptor sites. So our Army, Navy, and Air Force, our immune system that defends us, they make every neuropeptide, the ones that work in the brain, in your body. So we have a mind-body, body-mind connection. Remember I spoke to you about the lady with the black dress. So I told her not to get the surgery done because I thought her pain was due to the chemicals that are hitting her cells all over her body and causing stress in those muscles. So 2 years go by, and I'm seeing the same lady. I didn't know it was the same lady. She walked by me, maybe within 5 feet of me. I had never looked at her chart. I never looked at her chart. Okay. She sat down. She had on a beautiful red sweater, a yellow skirt, high heels, some lipstick on. And let me tell you something else too. Because when I had seen her originally, she showed me, look at this, doctor. She had a cut on every knuckle, right down to the tendon. I said, what the heck is that? I will admit, I didn't know what that was all about. So I went on and Googled it, and you've heard of cutting. Some people get nervous, they do cutting. That's known. You can Google it. You say Google cutting, and they'll show you. My kids are driving me crazy. That's what that was due to. So when she walked by me and never looked at her chart, who would recognize her face? They saw 2 years ago, you know. But because she walked so close to me, I wonder if I didn't feel her neurotransmitters. I really do, because when she sat down and I looked at this lady, I said, are you this lady? She says, you're right, doctor. I just came to thank you because I never did have the surgery, and I'm feeling wonderful. I am remarried, and I have a good job. How about that? That's what neurotransmitters can do to you. So Hans Seeley studied that, and then he wrote that book describing that chronic stress. And chronic stress doesn't kill you, it stays with you. It can cause diseases in your body, to the point that I realized that other people I was looking at in my practice really had mind-body illnesses. They were not what their X-ray report said. That's still happening today, and I doubt that will ever change, because you make money operating. You don't make money talking people for 10 minutes, which in most medical systems is what you do today. Mm-hmm. So 70% of the people, at least, that go to see a doctor have a physical presentation of stress. So please, before we get surgery, unless it's an emergency, do some reading, look at my YouTube shows, maybe even read the Mind-Body Connection book, because it tells you the science of it. And because there is a mind-body connection. So we have acute stress, and we have chronic stress, okay? Not till around the 1960s or so do we consider that the mind affected the body. That's how recent it really is. And Walter Cannon is the one who described the acute stress response around 1910. He called it the fight or flight syndrome. You're either dead or alive, or the thing is over, versus chronic stress. And then it was studied some more by a Herb Benson.
Before we get to that next step, I want to ask you a question. She comes to your clinic, and you observed her, and you decided not to do the surgery, but rather help her with her stress.
Yes.
And you brought in that concept of neurotransmitters.
Yes.
Now, looking back, what do you think made a profound difference in her neurotransmitters and in her well-being?
That she herself, I think, looked at some of my YouTube shows and things, and gathered some more knowledge that she believed it. Because, and I told her a number of things that she could do to relieve the stress, and I will go over those with you a little bit later, okay?
Excellent.
I have about what I call Rudy's 20 prescriptions for stress reduction, which are in this book, and I will read those off to you, things you could do to relax. But that's actually a question. I mean, what am I going to do, doctor? And we're going to go over those one by one. And so then Herb Benson at Harvard University, what am I going to do? So what he studied was a relaxation response, and things that you can do to relieve stress. And we will go through those one by one, and just to discuss one of those. We all have stress every day. Okay, let's mention just one of those. Maybe create and stress can be described threats to your emotional, physical, social, and spiritual information that's within you already. So and what he writes a lot about, Herb Benson, is that your belief system, whether you just believe in the Spirit or God or Jesus or Muhammad or whatever, that you got to know the person's belief system, because that can be, we can take advantage of that to relieve their stress. And that is extremely powerful in the human condition.
So the belief system is extremely powerful. Before that, you were saying about thought is very important. How we think is very important. Because I see that maybe the belief system is very important because belief system drives how we think. And how we think can dictate how we feel in our body.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Our thought process affects the whole body. It's extremely important to know the person, talk to them, and to understand what makes them hopeful. Why are they thinking of the past all the time and not living in the present moment? The quickest way to relax is when you live in the present moment. And that's what yoga is all about, too. Where you think, no, the past and the future just right now, and maybe to focus on one thing. And I know in India or in that part of the world, they use the word om, 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 a lot to quiet your mind. So to quiet your mind, to focus on one thing, be repetitive, is a very good way. And if you can't quiet your mind, maybe repeat a certain word, maybe your God, Jesus, Muhammad, or Om, 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 and repeat it for a minute or two, and your mind will quiet down because your neurotransmitters are quieting down. So our mind needs to focus on something, not racing. And that's why meditation works. And in yoga, some people are meditating while they're doing yoga activity, aren't they? They aren't talking. They may be focusing on their hands up there, right?
Yeah, so when it comes to yoga and the stress connection, yog is the root word for yoga. That yog, Y-O-G, yog means to connect. And you are connecting with your breath with the breath giver. So in that, the one who navigates all galaxies, when you connect with the source, that is when you are secure and stable. So it is a connection between our breath with our spirit, with the biggest spirit, is supposed to be yoga. And indeed, even in the Christian tradition, the yoke, Y-O-K-E, yoke means to connect. And that yoke also comes from the same root Sanskrit word, Y-O-G, yog. So yoga and yoke both have the same Sanskrit root word, Y-O-G, yog, to mean connect. So connecting vertically with our Creator and connecting horizontally with other people is the fundamental way to relieve the stress. It's a connection.
Thank you for the great words. And the relaxation response, which was described by Herb Benson, is go into a quiet environment, maybe use a mental device, a word, a phrase, as we spoke about already, a prayer, or a fixed gaze at an object. But it has been scientifically studied, the connection to belief is extremely important in the human mind. So, and be in a comfortable position where you don't have pain. You can be in the lotus position on the floor, or just sit in a chair. And we all need a place in the house where maybe you can do this whenever you want to. And this is your place where, for example, myself, I look out the window, I look at all the animals and the birds flying by and the deer walking by. That is my quiet place. And I do some meditation or play some songs this morning. I asked Alexa to play Morning Bird. That's a song. Very relaxing. And there's someone standing in the woods on a path playing the flute, the Morning Bird. Try that. That'll relax you. So a passive attitude is required, okay? So affirmative emotions are like laughter, helpful, can help. Singing a song, and there is in our body an endorphin system that are interconnected with certain hormones that you can bring out that cover the whole body. Laughter will do it, music will do it, walking, exercise will do it, yoga will do it. It connects to the endorphin systems, real neuropeptides, as Candace Pert described, hit the receptors in your cells and relax you. And yoga meditation will do that. What are our stress hormones? In a stressful event, the epinephrine and stress hormones, but laughter, hope, faith, love are powerful medications.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
powerful medications. Okay, so
What is that laughter? How that laughter helps with the stress? What is the mechanisms behind
what's the mechanism of laughter? Well,
Yeah.
for one thing, is that when you are laughing, you're breathing. The breath really is the start of a major connection to our mind, how we are breathing. And if you're relaxing your diaphragm, for example, neurotransmitters, neuropeptides get secreted by the brain. The brain is the start, and then the brain produces these neuropeptides, the serotonin, the long-term good feel, or the dopamine, and it connects to your gut. And the gut make the most serotonin that in your body, the long-term feel-good home is made by those bacteria that live in your gut. They make them. So there is a mind-body connection through real neurotransmitters, but also some of it is automatic, that you don't even have to think. The sympathetic, the stressor, the parasympathetic, the relaxer can be activated within your body without even your thought process, that you're not even aware of it. So
that is there is a connection between gut and mind. Am I
Yes.
right? Now there is a gut and mind are connected. When we look at the embryo, when we are in mother's womb as an embryo, the same cells are responsible for both gut and also the brain. And we also understand that brain, after the brain, gut has the most number of neurons, over 500 million of them, and even gut can get the migraines. So essentially, what we are learning is the gut and brain are connected, and the laughter can work on the gut neurons and also on the mind, brain neurons. So now we can have a positive impact on the brain with the laughter. And we are saying that there is a mind and body connection. We found out scientifically in 1970s, but 3,000 years back in Proverbs, it says laughter is the best medicine. 3,000 years back, they had that insight intuitively that laughter is the best medicine.
I totally, absolutely agree. In fact, when you wake up in the morning, it's not a bad idea to think a positive thought or sing a song. Or I sit and have this big window where I'm looking at nature. As soon as light, I'm connecting to nature. it makes me feel better. And also, we might throw in there too, if what we consume, the food we eat, has a tremendous effect on us and health, that if you use, like what I recommend people to do is time-regulated eating. So in the morning, our body secretes 5 different hormones to keep your blood sugar like this. And you then are going into fat metabolism because your sugar and insulin went down, and producing ketones, which makes you feel good. So I don't eat till noon. I just throw that in there. You can see that in detail in my other lectures. So our mind, body, and our gut are connected through trillions of neurotransmitters. And we have an autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic, the stressor, the epinephrine or the vagus, the relaxer. Affects our brain, affects our body. So hostility, cynicism, anger, negative emotions can secrete stress hormones and affect us acutely and kill us, or chronically and through hormones and neurotransmitters in the autonomic nervous system cause diseases in us which can be prevented. And so while we're on that, let's go through some other stress relieving things we talked about. Number one is, remember what I suggested to you about pick a spiritual place that in your house, okay? 3 minutes of downward breathing, breathe through your nose, relax the bottom of the belly, the diaphragm, and take a deep breath. That causes secretion of feel-good hormones and neurotransmitter. You feel better. Number 2, meditate. Concentrate on your nasal breath, okay? Next, concentrate on the abdomen, the diaphragm going down. Say a chant or a mantra, mind energy, multiple times. 111, God, 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 Muhammad, Muhammad, Jesus, whatever. Pick a word and concentrate on one thing. The past and the future is one thing. And number 3, visualize an image daily of what you want to achieve that day. Visualize an image of it. Don't think of the past, the future, what I want to get done that day. And if you've had problems, we all have problems. Life is like this, okay? But visualize how you're going to make things better today is important. And number 4 is manage your finances. It's rich or poor. We all have problems with that. Do the best that you can, because that can cause a lot of negative thinking. Don't focus on negativity. Number 5, avoid TV, radio, bad news. Just turn the TV. Most of the time it's advertisements, and then they give you nothing but the bad news. Rarely do they give you good news, so you can be a very negative person by watching TV, radio, your iPhone. Kids are walking around like this, so are adults. They're crossing the street, they never look up. The mind is caught into what's on there a lot of times is social media and false information. Your brain is getting washed. So see something thankful when you go to bed. Things that occurred that day, good and bad, but say something thankful that occurred to you. Every bed, every night, and say something optimistic or joyful in the morning. Today I'm going to do this, okay? I'm going to take a walk. I'm going to hug my child. I'm going to hug my loved ones. Practice yoga, tai chi, walk, dance, or enjoy exercise that bring about relaxation and meditation. And your yoga teaching is that you feel like it's helping a lot of people.
Yes.
Take your classes.
Yes, I can see that tremendous transformation that happens.
Yeah.
Particularly when they are taught well, and
Yeah.
all is not just a stretching for the body,
Yeah.
but the breath need to be controlled, because breath can control the mind, and through that you can control the body.
Yeah.
So it is need to be taught well and learned well. That is when you can have the profound impact with the yoga and proper meditation.
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
tell you some good news.
Yeah.
I gave lectures at Lutheran Hospital once a month for a number of years, 10 years maybe. And there's one lady who attended, had a lot of stress in her family, who attended all my lectures. Now I find she's at the Y and gives a class. And her class is the greatest class in the world. My wife goes to it regularly. I go to it occasionally because I lack time. But she has a combination of music and dancing and stretching and yoga activities and Tai Chi and Qigong and a whole combination of how to affect your neurotransmitters. When people finish your class, I think they feel like they have been in heaven. It's true. It's at the Homestead Y there, at the Yoga Center Y. So each day, spend 15, 30 minutes practicing meditative walking. You know, walk outside, which I do every day, and essentially every day, unless the weather's too bad. And but I connect to the animals I see. I connect to the breeze. I may even sing a song. A red-winged blackbird tends to follow me and whistles at me, and I've learned to I whistle back.
Yeah, I have seen
it
that.
makes me feel so good. And you've taken a walk with me, and
Yes.
you've seen it.
I have seen
Yeah.
it, and I wanted to understand, because you are in neuroscience and neurosurgery for a long time, and when you say that I connect with animals, what do you really mean when you say use the word connect with animals?
By connection, that they seem to hear or smell or just a vision that they see me. Some, don't interpret the colors, for example, but they know noise. They all react to noise. So I may even, oh, what a beautiful morning. I may even sing a song, and I find birds following me. They're connecting to my sound.
Yes.
And I connect to their sound. You know what I mean? So when I hear them, I react. Another way to connect to nature is to use the eyes to look at the leaves, how they change through the seasons, to look at the bark. The trees, incidentally, are families. They're interconnected at the roots. I can tell the parent tree and the children trees. Yeah, I can identify that. So I think, and you saw me connect to nature one time, that you came and visited me with two other doctors from India, and we were standing in the driveway, the three of us, my wife and me, and we were looking at my pond. You don't believe what we saw. You know, you saw it. We even have it on a video. 25 geese lined up single file behind each other and did 5 figures of 8s. You saw it. You saw it. I think that's when one of you turned to me and said, "Doctor, you are nature."
Yes.
But it actually happened to us. So you can connect to the animals. You just got to show them some love. And most of them don't fight each other. They take turns eating food I provide. There's a few predators out there, but not many. So think positively when you get up. Be hard-headed, tough-minded. Refuse to let others bring you down. There's some people, well, nothing but negative talk. What good is that? Even if you see something that you don't like, react to it, maybe laugh a little. If you do that, maybe they'll pay attention to you when you try to teach them to do things a little bit differently. Instinct. If you just go back negative, they probably don't listen to you. You know what I mean? So don't give up. Believe in yourself. Make a plan to solve the problem. Write the plan down. Maybe visualize the answer. Life will have its ups and downs. Visualize in the present moment, not in the future or the past. Live in the present moment, not the future or the past. Enjoy music in your home and in your car on the way to work. I'm constantly playing music. Right now it's Frank Sinatra. Okay, different songs. Music that you like, not that I like. Music that you like. It gets endorphins going, and I feel better. Matter of fact, one time I was running one of my clinics in Ohio. I was supposed to go to Van Wert, and I was listening to Pavarotti, I think. And I woke up in Defiance, Ohio, because I was so entranced by the music. But you know what was good about it? It took my stress out because I was on call every day. I was leading a very stressful life. But the 1 hour I was driving, I had no stress and I felt better.
So in essence, if the music can impact our body and the stress response, can we say that there is a type of music that can even induce stress in the human body?
Yes, that I think is up to you. It's your reaction to it. You know what I mean? To what is relaxing. One symphony is relaxing to a certain crowd, and other type of music to another. It partly is age related, but it's also related to individuals. You got to find out what music makes you want to dance. You know what I mean? Music will literally affect the body. You know, Mozart effect. Mozart got so good at music because his parents were playing the piano and the violin while he was still in the uterus, and after conception, only 25% of our genetic script is written. So when a pregnancy, for example, you're writing the genetic script of the infant depending on what's going in the house. Is the mother dancing? Is she listening to music? Is somebody hollering out loud all the time? Are they taking a walk and showing love to the child while you're writing the genetic script of the infant? And it's not just the biome, because the biome is not created till the child is born. As a child goes through the vagina, the face is painted with the bacteria of the mother, and the biome is on its way. But if you had a C-section, your child does not have the biome that you had, and they won't have the normal biome for 2 or 3 years. So before you have a C-section, learn a little bit more about it. Industry recommends it a lot because that's where the money is, but you got to know what you're doing to your child. So eat proper food. Remember, we spoke about that already. You can see that in my other YouTube shows, which would be good fats, 20% protein, 50% vegetables, and fruit. Don't just think fruit is a health food 90% of the time, because it's full of sugar and some lectins and fructose corn syrup. It isn't as healthy as you think. Learn more about it, okay? Organize your time. That causes you to be a little more relaxed. So demand at least 30, 15 minutes for yourself every day. 15, 30 minutes belong to you, nobody else. So you have a chance for your brain to rebuild itself, for the neurotransmitter to rebuild itself. So treat yourself to massage. Let go of the monkey mind. Getting a good massage affects your neurotransmitters. There are so many different massages. I can't go through all of them. So getting a massage is very good. It affects your neurotransmitters of your brain. Don't smoke. Use illegal drugs except for medications. And in the long run, they will cause stress. If you smoke a cigarette, that affects every cell in your body within seconds. And then the nicotine level goes down, and then you got to light up again. You want to have a stressful life? Smoke cigarettes. Fortunately, I tried a cigarette once in high school. I coughed all night, and that was the last cigarette I ever had. But and some people now need help. We have probably 25% of our children are smoking marijuana, for example, which can lead to a smaller brain. That's been proven. The brain isn't fully developed till age 25 or so. So when kids are doing that, if they were geniuses, they're going to be smart. And if they're smart, they're going to be average. They're going to be average, they're going to be below average. That's the reality. There are books written about that.
So and, what do you think is so we're talking about the stress, and you said 70% of people goes to doctor because of stress-related manifestation.
Yes.
So now, if we step back and think about the society, because you are gifted with long life over 8 decades now, so 87 years old. When you look at the society, what do you think are the major stresses that are causing stress to people here in America? Because technologically, we are highly advanced, we have a lot of development happening. At the same time, 70% of people are obese or overweight and stressed a lot now than ever before. So what are the stresses that you see in the society?
Number one is that we do not do anything to relax. We don't spend as much time as we used to with the family. I think that's, and hugging people. And that's why hugging a pet, for example, isn't a bad idea, because you're leaving his stress and your stress too. So family is not as close anymore. We're working a lot harder. We don't have any time to spend with our kids, and we send them off to school, and in the schools we're feeding them bad food. Just go online and check it. Yeah, what we're feeding our children is pathetic. High sugary foods that they're going to get sick. We're eating, because we're leading stressful lives, we want to eat sugar. We're eating much more sugar, because if we consume sugar, the dopamine level goes up very quickly, and I'm in heaven. Yes. And if you eat it all day long, it can be a habit. You can't put that donut down, because every time you eat it, you feel good. But you can get over those addiction by, for example, by doing this 16-8 time regular eating, or taking a walk, or singing a song, or getting a massage. So we have a lot more things that are unpredictable. We're laying down, we're watching TV all day, and we're not exercising, and our lives have become extremely complex. Our jobs are very complex. It isn't that we used to go out and work in the field and do something repetitively that we understand. Our jobs are so much, and we are pushed, produce more, produce more, produce more. And some jobs are much more stressful than others. So be a happy person. Live the life of gratitude rather than a life of regret. Be thankful, and say it out loud. Have a great day. Have a wonderful time. Use those words on the people around you, your families, and use your pets. So let go of self-judgment, self-criticizing. Don't criticize yourself all day. You are a person of God, and we're not all the same. Some are brilliant, some are medium, some are not so smart, but some that are not so smart actually are leading better lives, because they pick a job that's less stressful, more predictable, getting paid on time. So we ourselves can decide how stressful a life we want to lead. So, and the last thing I want to mention here, know what mind, body, spirit illnesses are. And I mentioned to you some of them, but a lot of them can cause memory loss, can cause GI problems, can cause a sudden heart attack. Yes, you've heard of the voodoo effect, and that was known about thousands of years ago, where the shaman could point his finger at somebody that the tribe wanted to get rid of, and that person believed that the tribe didn't want them anymore. And if you're not wanted, that can cause secretion of neurotransmitters, adrenaline, epinephrine, an increase in the body, and affect the heart rate, and the heart stops, and they die. The voodoo effect is real. And Dr. Schweitzer, a famous doctor who went to Africa in 1910 from Germany or so, and he met a shaman, and he taught him something, because the shaman would meet with some people, and some people he would just hand some things to eat, and there would be other ones that he would tell to exercise, and there were other ones that he would make an appointment to see Dr. Schweitzer. So they understood the mind-body connection way back then, and I spoke to you also, about that's the nocebo, negative speak. That's a shaman. And we use it in medicine so much today, where the nocebo would be the MRI scan that lady I talked about. And we got her to believe that those changes in MRI were causing her problem. But she gathered information of maybe my books, maybe she read the Mind Body book. That probably is what she did. I probably recommended it to her. And she understood that her life was affecting her neurotransmitters and were causing the neck pain. So a little massage, a little laughter, meeting some people, practicing positive speaking and everything. And she never did have the operation, and now was having a wonderful life. So to understand the nocebo, which should be taught in medical schools, but it is not. That's a big one. That's a big one. How we use, every time industry is coming up with a new thing, how to affect the rhythm of the heart, and how to get rid of the pain, and they hand you a narcotic, and if that doesn't work, if you avoided addiction, they'll say, well, you need another fusion of your back, and you'll see patients today who've had 5 or 10 back fusions.
Wow. So
when in reality, what they might be having, the pain is due to their neurotransmitters. And it was never brought up. I saw that a lot when I was in neurosurgery.
you see, human mind or human beings typically can remember 3 things. So we went over 20 things that they can do to relieve. But what are the top 3 things comes to your mind when you scan your own life of living 87 years? What are the top 3 things that you recommend to the audience?
Well, that's a good. What are the top 3 things that I do to relax? I think number 1 would be to have a plan for the future. In other words, you reach a certain age, you retire from neurosurgery, which I did, and if I hadn't had this great interest in the mind-body connection, where would I be at? I might be dead by now, you know what I mean? But now, my YouTube shows, my radio shows, I always, every 2 weeks I do another show. India is looking at my YouTube show because they have so much diabetes. Hey man, I'm in heaven, okay? Now if that wasn't there, so number 1 is to plan for your future. And number 2 is to be in good health. 132 pounds this morning, okay? And I did the time-regulated eating, where I did not eat till around noon or so, and then after the show was done, I'll eat again, so two meals a day. What I've learned too, but I pretty much 80% of the time I'm eating healthy food, okay? But not, you don't have to be 100%. What I've learned recently is that if you do this time-regulated eating, those other 2 meals that you eat in that 8-hour period, it almost doesn't matter what you eat. I had a doctor tell me that recently, patients he was seeing. He told them time-regulated eating, did it not to change their food. There were seriously overweight people, and they were losing weight every week. And so eating correctly is important, and to exercise some. But you don't have to be a little bit excessive like I might be. I play pickleball, I take a walk. I prepare with light weights before I play pickleball, but I think if you just took a walk and related to nature, it keeps your body strong, and it's also relaxing. Those are sort of the top 3 things. And animals actually do 3 things. Animals worry about staying alive, getting some food, having sex. I watch all the animals there. That's all they're worried about. And this morning, you wouldn't believe this. Don't do this, but I did do it. I have a woodchuck living under my house 20 years now. he came out as I was putting the food out this morning, gray hair and all, and he opened his mouth and gave me a big smile. Yeah, that happened to me this morning. So, you know, to relaxation and music, I tap dance, sing some songs. I don't have a great voice, to say the least, but I do go to Sweetwater, great place, play the piano, sing a few songs. So if you do some of these things I mentioned to you, the point is I'm trying to get you to live to be 100 in good health. And my family doctor asked me what my plan was. You want to live to be 100? I said, no, 110. But all we can do is probe, use information, but stress, we all have stress. I have stress. I'm just telling you what I use to relieve stress. I know years ago when I had no partners, I did neurosurgery. I was working 7 days a week. I had Dr. Crawford come out at 9 in the evening, and we played tennis for an hour. That was a stress reliever. So sports are good, but pick a sport that you can do. Don't go out if you're unsteady and say, I'll play pickleball. No. Take up a sport. If it's just walking, I think it's great. So in India, what do people do in India to relieve stress?
Now, as we talked about, yoga is one of the main thing. But at the same time, when they wake up in the morning, they have a routine in the morning. So morning routine.
Yeah.
That incorporates a time of silence, time of, yoga that is for the body, and the time of reflection and before they go into the day. So most of the people who are in the pursuit, really doing well in their life in the past, they had that morning routine. Is a very important dimension of their life. Early in the morning, first in the morning, seeking the one who gave the breath, having that awareness that I'm unique and wonderful, and even though I'm different from others, I don't need to compare with other people. And as you said, having the purpose in life. When they are young, the purpose is study. When they are in the household, providing for the family. When they are old, then taking care of the grandkids or contributing to the society. Purpose is very important at every stage of life. So having that awareness of how breath controls the mind with yoga and meditation, and having a purpose, and Lankanam Paramaushadam. In Sanskrit, it means that fasting is the life-giving medicine. So regulated eating, Lankanam Paramaushadam. Fasting is life-giving medicine. People used to fast. That was the integral part of their tradition, to fast. And now we are understanding that how much biology is impacted by fasting, how much it opens up space for detoxification of the body. So, but they knew that Lankanam means fasting, Paramaushadam, life-giving medicine.
What a wonderful explanation. I just loved it, because when I visited Hong Kong, China, and those areas of the world, I noticed the people getting up early in the morning and doing yoga and taking a walk. They're doing exactly what you were saying, and some would suddenly stop and I think meditate and watch the water flowing by, and then assume a yoga position, changing their neurotransmitters, and they were organizing the mind as to what they were going to do that day. I saw that there'd be a huge number out there taking a walk and doing yoga in the mornings. I think that is a great idea. So in summary, I would like for you to maybe read this book on the mind-body connection, so you understand how the body operates, that our mind affects our body, that you realize that, and you will avoid a tremendous amount of procedures and surgeries and injections. Medicine today, unfortunately, they don't teach the mind-body connection. But to me, it's critical that I picked up on it years and years ago, that I saw it in my patients. But I looked at it from the mind standpoint, but I looked at them also from the metabolic standpoint. They walked in the office and they wanted the back fused because X-ray showed something. Before I even looked at the X-ray, I would say, you know, what's going on in your life? And I would want to hear how stressful you are, what you're eating, and if you're overweight, I would look and say, I wonder if you're diabetic, and run some tests. Patients didn't always appreciate that, but you got to learn to appreciate that. That's the reason we have a society today that is not well. And I went to the children's zoo the other day to look at the panda. That was wonderful. But I have eyes, educated eyes, and you look around, I say 70% of the mothers I saw with their children looked unhealthy. And if we did insulin testing and stuff, some of the thin ones could have diabetes too. So what are we saying? 80% of the people have type 2 diabetes, which has associated with it about 30 diseases. Yes.
Wow.
That's what I'm, yes, yes. And no matter where you go, if you stand at say at Kroger's, you stand by the line, just watch what people are ordering and taking home, then look at them and you realize that I know what I'm talking about here. And I'm trying to encourage people to become healthy. So I live to be 100 and feel good and great and sing songs and get up in the morning and do some yoga and Tai Chi and take a walk and hug their kids and hug their pets and have a happy life. What I'm looking at, these people are going to die in their 40s and 50s and 60s, and 50% of the heart attacks that occur, incidentally, which people do not realize, they just grab their chest and they die. No warning, no warning that you're having heart disease. And what they have found is that when they autopsied Korean and the Vietnamese soldiers and American soldiers that looked normal, the American soldiers already had evidence of vascular disease, although they had no symptoms. Your blood sugar doesn't get elevated 10 or 15 years later. We need to run a serum insulin on everyone starting at a young age. And you can, in one of my other shows, you can see that. So I appreciate you listening. Look at our other YouTube shows. You know, YouTube, Rudy Cashman, Amazon, Rudy Cashman, and Facebook, Rudy Cashman, and I have probably 700 TV shows on health. You have to watch all of them, but you can't sleep, turn one on. And you need to gather some information. But stress relief is a big one. We all have stress. I have stress, you have stress, but we taught you now to understand it and how to get rid of it, and and maybe develop a spiritual place in your home where 10 to 15 minutes belong to you and nobody else, and you can do some of these techniques, do some deep breathing, relate to your spirit and God and whatever your situation is, and you'll be a lot healthier. And we did this show, Jerome, you know we did it.
Yes.
Why did we do it? Love for you. That's why we did it. We care about you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. And thank you for watching our show today. And there'll be many more on YouTube that you can gather more information. And tomorrow, what am I doing tomorrow? I'm going to take my walk. I'm going to play pickleball. Maybe end of the day, I'm taking a tap dance lesson at age 39 for the 48th time. Makes me feel good. I will admit, people who watch these shows, they seem to feel better too because they tell me about it. See you next time. Bye-bye.